Hey everyone, welcome back to Yacht Reviews. Today we're checking out a very unique boat because this is a one-off construction from 1971. This is referred to as a custom Superior Motor Yacht 64. Superior was a commercial boat manufacturer, and this specific boat was originally designed and built for the owner of that company. What they did is they took the construction from one of their commercial hulls and then they fitted it out for full liveaboard use. Now this wasn't designed and built for future resale or charter market or anything like this. This was specifically designed for what the owner required, to have a large, very comfortable, very capable liveaboard boat for cruising. And at the time of shooting this video, it was up for sale for $245,000 and lying in Jacksonville, Florida. Now the current owners are very motivated and open to offers, and they're even open to consider seller financing. And if you spot the bubbles in the water, this is the first time I've ever filmed the boat where while I was on site, they had divers in the water cleaning the hull. Now the yacht itself measures in at 64 feet in length. She's got a beam of 17 feet 6. She's got a draft of approximately 5 feet, and the hull itself is fiberglass construction. She's powered by twin Caterpillar D343 diesels, around 440 horsepower each. As I step on board, there's side door access to the lower helm to both port and starboard. I really like the passageway that leads from bow to stern because it's so easy to walk along here, and you've also got shade from that overhang overhead too. Making my way around to the aft cockpit, there's seats out here, and I like the fact that these are able to be moved around, so that way if you're entertaining family and friends you can, if you want to focus on fishing you can. Again, there's a large overhead from the flybridge up top, and this has got recessed lights into it as well. Over the stern you see we've got a Boston Whaler sports tender in here, and it's raised out the water, so that way you don't need to worry about it whenever your boat's underway. Easy access down to that bathing platform, and that bathing platform also doubles up if you want to get involved with fishing and diving, and it's really easy to come on board. And then to make my way down the port side, again you can see just how easy it is to walk down here. And that way it's going to be really easy for your friends and family on board. Not only just so as if you want to walk around, if you want to come up here for your bow lines, your anchor windlass, whatever, but also if you are into fishing, there's plenty of areas here so that way you're not competing with anybody else on board. You can lay out on the coach roof. There's also seats molded into the front of the coach roof, and there's storage underneath those seats. And then on the bow itself you've got the electric windlass. You can obviously operate this from here, but you can also operate it from both the flybridge and the lower helm. And I'll pan around, you can see that seating area, the coach roof, and then up onto the flybridge, and I'll show you that in just a second with the hardtop. It's a very capable offshore cruiser, and one that you could enjoy spending a long period of time on board with. And up on the flybridge, you've got a clever setup where the aft of the flybridge is open, so if you do want to lay out here or sit out here in the sun, you can certainly do so. And then the forward section has got that hardtop giving you shade and protection. We've also got a grilling station up here, so that way you can entertain your family and friends, keep the meals and refreshments going. And underneath here, you're going to see that we've got the 2-burner electric stovetop as well as the electric grill. There's a sink up here, and there's storage and refrigeration too. And then at the helm's got a full bank of electronics. This wasn't designed just for close quarter manoeuvring, this was enjoying cruising from up here. And you see we've got a multifunction displays, the autopilot, your communication devices. And these have all been upgraded over recent years as well. And then that solid hardtop giving plenty of shade and protection. And then there's the controls for the windlass, but you've also got your DC controls, your toggle switches. And then I actually like the central throttle position. Again, that brought me back to a lot of the commercial boats I used to work on back in Scotland. But it's going to be really easy for doing the close quarter manoeuvring where you can split the throttles, and it's right in front of the wheel. I also like the use of handholds everywhere you go. You're always going to feel safe and secure, especially when the boat's underway. And then I'll take you back down to the aft cockpit and then into the lower accommodation. And this is where it really feels like a full liveaboard. You've got almost panoramic views from all those windows. We've obviously got the blinds down just now, but you can see all that natural light that's available and the visibility. The current owners have got this one kitted out, where we've got a home office setup. And then right next to that is the saloon, with a very comfortable reclining leather sofa. And you'll notice behind that there's steps that lead up to the flybridge as well, so you can access it from in here without having to go to the aft cockpit. You get the table in the centre, a large flat screen TV with a soundbar, and stereo controls as well. Plenty of storage, there's even a drinks cabinet over there as well. And then there's a little wine cooler here too. And this is all just behind the helm. And speaking of the helm, I like the fact that you do have that side door access to both port and starboard. But I also like the fact that you've got a really large bench seating area for this one. And I always think that's great because I have pictures of this being a husband and wife team. And the last thing you want is somebody being isolated up here. But this way you can sit next to each other and enjoy the passage as you make your way. Tremendous amount of visibility, especially for a boat of this size. And without getting a measuring tape out, the helm's pretty much dead centre on the boat. So it's really going to be advantageous when it comes to your close quarter manoeuvring or if you wanted to go through lock gates. Again, you get your multifunction display up here, your autopilot, and then that large screen, there's cameras throughout the yacht. And that way you can cycle through all different cameras. And you'll notice we've also got a tablet for navigation mounted up here as well. And then we've got the full engine instrumentation. Now as for the engine hours, you've got approximately 300 hours on the port engine and 800 hours on the starboard engine. We've then got the controls for the AC and DC, and speaking of which, there's a Northern Lights 20 kilowatt generator and there's also a Norpro 13 kilowatt generator on board. And then moving forward, I'll take you down the passageway and this will lead into the galley. This is one of the largest galleys I've ever seen on a yacht, because again, the original owner, he was looking for liveaboard use, and you can't beat this one. Look at how much room you have for the dining table. You get all your domestic appliances in here, and so much headroom. Nobody can ever complain about feeling claustrophobic on this one. Full height fridge freezer. And then next to that, you've got your 4-burner electric stovetop with the oven underneath. A great amount of countertop space, storage space. You see a little toaster oven and air fryer, double stainless steel sink. And then you get your microwave oven on the other side as well. You can prepare all your favourite meals on board. And then we've got that large dining table on the opposite side. And I'll show you in a second, but that door you see next to the fridge freezer, that leads into the engine compartment. But up overhead, we've got additional storage, and I like that louver effect. That way you get some fresh air cycling through, and you don't get that damp, mouldy smell when you're on board. There's more storage over here as well with this glass cabinet. And then you'll notice that air conditioning vent. This yacht has got a total of 5 times 16,000 BCU air conditioning units. And in the bow, this is a guest cabin, but it would also be a really good captain's quarter. You can make this fully en suite. And then here you get your toilet and your sink. And then there's a shower behind the door. And then the yacht's got a total of 300 gallon freshwater capacity. It's got 1,000 gallon fuel and a 375 gallon holding tank capacity. And then moving into the main cabin itself, you've got the berth with a flat screen TV. There's storage underneath the bed as well. Again with that louver effect, and everything locks into place so that it stays safe and secure while the boat's underway. And then up overhead, we've got a large hatch for light, ventilation, and also easy access if you ever wanted to use it that way too. And then I'll take you into the engine compartment, and this one's got a ton of room that makes any day-to-day checks as well as major upgrades really easy to carry out on board. tremendous amount of light in here and ventilation. Now these engines are currently in the middle of being serviced just now, but you can see just how much room we have in here. All your tools and engine spares, all your electrics, opening portholes on the side for extra ventilation if you want. And as I said, these are twin Caterpillar D343. They're around 440 horsepower each. And I like the fact that we've got gauges in here for the engines itself, so that way if you are doing any daily checks or maintenance, it's easier to do. You get your fuel, oil, water separators. And then you got these poles that's really easy to hold on to as well, especially if the boat was underway. And then as I mentioned, this engine is currently being serviced. But in some of the boats I've been on, servicing would be really difficult to do, but with this amount of room, it's certainly easier. The easier it is to service, the more likelihood that the boat's had the service over its life, but it's also going to be cheaper and quicker for getting professional help done too. And then you see your generator, your air compressor, and all your engine spares up here too. And then I'll take you into the owner's stateroom. Access the owner's stateroom will climb back up onto the main deck. And then the owner's basically got an aft cabin. You can see all the woodwork we have here with storage underneath the helm seats. Ideal for keeping all your paper charts and any documentation you might need. Walk back through the saloon. In that home office setup. And you'll see we've got like a spiral staircase that leads down into the owner's stateroom aft. Handholds in place make this really easy to do, even single-handed while carrying a GoPro. And this one's got an island berth right on the transom, and in front of that you can see we've got the hot tub. And this has got a very open plan design. But with so much storage, it would be really easy to make this a full-time liveaboard if you want. Now the current owners are still enjoying using this yacht, so I've got to be careful opening the drawers and cabinets. But as an example, if I walk up here and I'll open this one, you'll see we've got the full height hanging locker space. Space is always a premium whenever you're staying on board, but you can't say that with this one. And then I like those windows in the transom. Again, that way it brings in natural light and ventilation. You get your TV mounted up over there. And then there's plenty of drawers, lockers and cabinets throughout. In front of that we do have that hot tub. You can see you get your toilet. Plenty of storage for your toiletries and personal belongings. And then next to that is you've got the large shower compartment. And then finally you've got a walk-in closet. So this is a very unique yacht and it's a very unique opportunity. But if somebody was looking for a large liveaboard that was just a husband and wife team with an occasional guest, this is one to seriously consider. The hull being the commercial grade that it is, I'm sure it's going to be an exceptionally sea-keeping boat. And I'm going to include a link to the listing in Yacht World, and I'll also include the links to Reed's contact details so that anybody interested in viewing this boat or asking any further questions can reach out directly. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you can leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, it really does make a difference. And I'll look forward to catch you on the next one. Thanks everyone.